bridge of sights to rest my eyes in shades of green under dreaming skies to Ichiku Park, that's where I've been. What did you do there? I got high. What did you feel there? Well, I cried. But why the tears there? Tell you why.
Got a problem? We'll take it from here, pal.
Will you, Al?
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together. Brighter than a lucky penny when you're near. The rain goes, disappears, dear, and I feel so fine. Just to know that you are mine. My life is sunshine, lollipops.
Hold on, lovey.
Yeah, I'll just tidy up a bit.
Well, come on, then. We haven't got all day.
Oh, Mrs. Grant wants to have a word with us.
What about?
I don't know.
Have you not got a tongue in your head? You wanted to see us, Mrs. Grant?
Yes. I'm going to be away for 3 weeks visiting friends, and I wondered if you could keep an eye on the place.
What precisely did you have in mind?
Putting the heating on if there's a cold snap, and for security, just making the place look lived in.
Well, I think we can manage that, can't we, David?
Oh, that sounds easy enough.
Shall we say 10 shillings a day?
That sounds very reasonable, Mrs. Grant.
Then I'd better show you around.
Right.
I'll follow you in.
What do you think? Hit and run?
Could be. He's got a possible fractured skull. It looks to me as though he was hit more than once. Any idea who he is?
He has no papers on him. There's no evidence here. No tyre tracks or anything.
I'd better follow them into hospital.
Sure. I'll head in and report it.
You still got the builders in, Alf?
No, that's the problem. When I was away, they did a bunk.
Oh, you got time to track them down now, Miller's away.
So where are you stopping? You're back at the Aidensfield Arms?
Oh, not since he became a premium bonds winner. I expect it's the best hotel in Ashfordley for you.
Well, something along those lines.
Oh, I hope you're not here to spoil my evening, Joe. Look at the time.
I've got an unidentified man found by the roadside. He could have been hit by a car, but more likely he was assaulted.
Where is he now?
In hospital, unconscious. Someone needs to sit with him till he comes around. We need to know who he is and what happened.
Miss Havisham was now an heiress, and you may suppose was looked after as a great match. Her half-brother had now ample means again, but what with debts and what with new madness wasted them most fearfully again. Come on, Mum. Bedtime.
I'm awake, me.
Of course you are, but it's getting late. You go on up, I'll wash up.
You're a good lad, Steve. Here. Can you get me some shopping tomorrow?
Can do. Usual stuff.
Usual.
But don't worry, pay me tomorrow.
No, you'll be out of pocket else. Here, take it.
That's far too much.
Then go down the pub and have a drink for me.
All right, thanks.
You'll switch everything off down here.
And lock up, don't worry. Night, Mum.
Night, love.
It's not my birthday, Bernie.
It's not for you. Dawn spotted it out the back of the garage and got me to clean it up.
Dawn! Oh, thanks, Bernie. It's fab. I didn't know you could sew.
Yeah, I did needlework in school. I've got so many ideas. I'm just going to take it to my room.
I'm not sure I like the sound of this.
Go on, it's nice for her to have a hobby.
Evening, you two. The usual.
Please, Gina. Listen. I've got this little business idea that you could help me out with.
No.
Don't be like that, Bernie.
Go on.
Well, I thought if I could get folk to order meals in the evenings, I could deliver them and you could cook them, and it would be like, well, going out for dinner but not having all the trouble of going out.
Sounds like Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, sort of. Only with good stuff. Because you can cook proper gourmet things.
What's in it for me, then?
Half me profits, of course.
Well, if you can find any takers, I'll give it a try.
Help!
Leaving pulse now. No pulse.
Okay, adrenaline, please, nurse.
Good morning.
Not for me, it isn't.
Why? What's wrong?
Like trouble. Jeff's on his way over to give me a lift. Edensfield Police. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Did you not hear anything in the night? I'll be round as soon as I can. Let's go, Jeff.
You've not got time for a cup of tea? Sergeant Miller's away, don't forget.
We haven't. There's been a burglary, Madeira Avenue. They left the back door open.
Not another one.
Sounds like it. Oh, how did you get on last night at the hospital with that mystery man?
No, look, he had a heart attack while I was there. He's still on the ventilator, so I came away.
We'll stop off at the burglary on the way there. See you, Carol.
Bye.
Mr. Ventris?
Sergeant Noakes. Oh, my alarm must have stopped.
What are you doing here?
I was working late last night.
Explanation accepted, although you seem to have been exceptionally well prepared. This is a police station, not a hotel.
Excuse me, nurse. Hello. Hello. I'm Alice Howarth, Edna's daughter. Edna from number 3 Moor Cottages. Oh. I was wondering if you could call round sometime. I can do. Is there a problem? I'm not sure she's safe to be living on her own anymore. She's always been so independent. I know. But she's getting on. I do the best I can. I get over most days, but I live in Elsonby. It's the evenings I worry about. I work late, you see.
What exactly is it that you're concerned about, Mrs. Howarth?
I think she might be going a bit, well, senile.
Blimey, Alf. You're in early?
I should look sharp if I were you.
What for?
I believe it is normal practice to have morning parade before the start of shift. I am Sergeant Noakes, and I expect high standards, boots shined, whistles polished.
Yes, Sarge.
You are?
PC Weatherby.
Where's everybody else?
PC Mason's got a problem with his motorbikes, so PC Younger's giving him a lift.
PC Younger, my, how you've grown since I saw you last.
Oh. Hello, Sergeant.
And PC Mason, I presume. I was just talking to your colleague about the importance of timekeeping.
Sorry, Sergeant, but we had a burglary overnight and we had to stop off at the hospital on the way.
There was a burglary at the hospital?
No, the burglary was in Edensfield. We've got an unidentified man in intensive care. His condition deteriorated overnight. We think that he was assaulted.
I see. Tell me about the burglary.
They left the back door unlocked.
Not another one.
Someone care to explain?
We had a series of burglaries a while back, all in the evening, all where people had gone out without locking up.
Well, then they stopped, so we thought the burglar had left the area.
But this one was last night. The people were actually asleep in the house at the time.
Then you'd better get the files out. Younger, bring them to me in my office and we'll go through them. You two, there's been a complaint about a van blocking a warehouse entrance in Back Lane. Look into it. And find out who that man in the hospital is.
Blimey. What does she have for breakfast?
You, if you're not careful. Like I said, look sharp.
This is an unexpected pleasure.
We do make house calls, you know. Just to keep up to date with everyone. How have you been lately?
Fit as a flea, me. Bit of a cold, that's all.
I don't see you out and about as much as I used to.
Well, we're none of us getting any younger. One day you'll be pleased to put your feet up by the fire. Oh.
How long have you had this cold?
Couple of days now. Alice asked you to call round, didn't she?
Well, she's worried about you.
She's no need to be. I manage fine.
How about in the evenings, getting yourself off to bed and everything?
My son calls in most nights.
Your son?
Mm-hmm. He looks after me too, you know. Oh, him and Alice never got on. Fought like cat and dog, even as children.
I see.
He did very well for himself. Went to Oxford University.
Did he?
But now he's back in the area. He's quite happy to look in on his old mum. I'm very lucky. Really.
Engine stone cold. Must have been here for a while.
Probably overnight then, and it's empty.
Hardcastle, Queen Street.
We'd better ask him what it's doing here.
Hello. I've seen your advert. Discreet guest house for gentlefolk. Well, as soon as possible, really. Right. The name's Banks. I'll see you later. Goodbye.
Who's Banks?
Just a friend.
Sergeant Noakes hasn't lost a touch, has she?
You can say that again, Jeff.
How do you mean?
Man-eating. Phil Bellamy used to be very nervous when she was around. He used to keep his hand on his halfpenny. I tell you what, she's taken a shine to you.
You what? Me? Alf, your desk's on fire.
Yeah.
What'll it be, gents? Pork chops are very cheap at the moment.
Mr. Hardcastle.
That's me.
It's about your lorry.
Have you found it?
Has it been reported stolen?
No, but it ain't here. Norman took a load over to Strensford yesterday and should have left it back in yard last night. And he's late this morning.
It's blocking an entrance on Back Lane. Is that where Norman lives?
No, he's from Eltering.
Hang on. What does Norman look like?
Big, bald, why?
We've got an unidentified man in hospital. He was found by the side of the road that crosses the moor above Ainsfield. Would Norman have gone that way to Strensford?
He normally goes that road.
Then it looks like the load was stolen. The truck's empty now.
Oh, no. We had a problem with one of the freezers. He was taking it to the incinerator. That meat's been condemned.
So, to sum up, we have a large quantity of meat, some of which could be infected, that may be about to enter the local food chain. What did the hospital say the medical risks are, Mason?
Campylobacter, E. coli, Staphylococcus, or even typhoid, Sarge. They'll call us immediately if they have any patients presenting with likely symptoms.
Right. Have we got any information from the stolen lorry?
Scenes of crime are recovering at the moment.
While we wait for them, I'll inform the medical officer of health and ask him if we should be making some sort of public announcement. Local doctors will have to be informed as well. Meanwhile, I want all of you out there contacting every butcher, restaurant, hotel in the area, telling them to call us if they get offers of meat from unexpected sources. Not you, Younger. It's been a while since I was in this area. I want you to drive me.
Oh. Right, Sergeant.
Oh, no, definitely not. I'm sorry. No, it's out of the question.
Well, it's just what you need to brighten up the garage.
The garage doesn't need brightening up.
Well, you said it's good for her to have a hobby.
A hobby is something you do for yourself, not inflict on other people.
Why? What's wrong with them?
Well, they'll give me a headache. Orange does that.
Come on, love. We'll hang them somewhere else.
Hey, what about in here?
Well, I was thinking more of your room.
Mrs. Howard! Oh, I gather you've been to see her already.
I have.
And what do you think?
Well, I have to say, mentally, she seems very alert to me. I mean, obviously, she is frail and needs support, but your brother's helping out in the evenings, too.
Oh, she told you that too, did she?
Yes, she did. I understand you two don't get along, but maybe under the circumstances...
Now do you see why I think she's going senile? My brother committed suicide 20 years ago.
Can we stop by the pawn shop? For? Just got some things to offload.
You've been doing stuff on the side again. I thought we had an agreement. If you're working with me, you're working with me. You do not do anything that brings you to the attention of the coppers. You got that?
Sure.
Alfentress,
Peggy Armstrong.
what are you doing here?
Well, I was about to ask you that.
I'm expecting someone.
Mr. Banks.
How do you know?
When I made the booking, I was being discreet.
You're Mr. Banks.
Yes.
Well, you better come in then.
What exactly is going on here, Peggy?
Well, I'm looking after this place for a friend. Only she doesn't want it to be widely known that she takes in paying guests. That's why it said discreet in the advert.
Well, I didn't even know it was here.
Well, there you are then. It obviously works. Look, as you're here, and as I know you'll keep her secret, why don't we say mates rates for you?
I'm not sure.
What's wrong?
Are you sure it's above board?
Of course it is.
Perhaps I'd better go and look for somewhere else.
What, at this short notice? No, I think we can also throw in free drinks on the house, if you like.
Really?
And how would you like your steak cooked for your tea so that I can warn Chef?
You have a chef as well?
We certainly have. Gordon Blue.
Oh, medium rare.
I'll show you to your room.
Hello, Aidensfield Arms. Hey, Peg. What, you've got a customer already? Yeah? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, OK. Throughout. Can you do 3 pints of bitter for that table over there, Oscar?
Do what?
I've got some cooking to do for Peggy.
Jeannie, we're rushed off our feet here.
Go on, you'll manage.
But where's Dawn got to?
She's probably upstairs sewing something. I've told her to come down and help.
I gather we have you to thank for this craze.
It's a sewing machine. I thought, what harm could come of that?
When she said her brother was dead, I felt such a fool.
And the old lady seemed perfectly normal.
Bright as a button.
So what happens now?
Maybe the daughter's right. Maybe Edna shouldn't be living on her own.
I'm here, Mum. Hello?
What's wrong?
I've been ever so ill, love.
Oh, I'm here now.
I think I'm dying.
I won't let you die. Let's get you up to bed. Then we need to get someone to have a look at you.
And about time, too.
Oh, don't fuss, Oscar. You'll be pleased when you see what I'm doing. It's a bit complicated, though.
You're not using that thing in here when there's a queue of customers in the snug.
I can do both at the same time. Just watch me. Hello, Aidensfield Arms.
I may as well talk to myself.
Yeah, she's here. Would you like a word with her? Oh, right. Oh, OK. Excuse me, Carol. Someone's just phoned for you. They said, can you go round and see Edna Dean? It's urgent. She's very poorly.
Edna Dean?
Yeah.
That's the old lady I was telling you about. I better go round there.
I'll come with you.
Am I the only one here?
For tonight, you are. The other guests arriving tomorrow. Now then, what would you like for your roses duvers?
What have you got?
Well, we can offer egg mayonnaise or fruit juice.
Fruit juice.
And would you like orange juice or tomato juice?
Tomato juice.
Right.
Edna!
I don't feel right comfortable like this.
Nonsense, lovey. You look very smart. Now, come on. Take this through to our guest.
Mr. Ventress.
I know it's Mr. Ventress. Go back in there and take him his tea. Go on.
Oh, that's very nice, David. And a glass of red wine. Red wine on the house.
Oh, right. He wants a glass of red wine.
Well, give him one then.
Well, he says he should be on the house. I mean, why should he get free drinks?
We want him on our side, don't we? We don't want him gossiping down the pub or at the police station. Go and fetch him one up from the cellar.
Well, hang on, isn't that stealing?
Well, we'll replace it. Oh, and pick one with a short name. They're usually cheaper.
None of the neighbours made the call, and they haven't seen any visitors about.
So who called the pub?
Exactly. There's a box of shopping on the site.
What's this then?
It's the shortest name in the cellar, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Petrus. Oh, it'll do. Oh, David, go down to the cellar and fetch another one up for later.
Good. And on time as well. Now, any reports of meat being offered for sale from unusual sources?
None so far.
They could be selling it, door to door.
Wouldn't that attract people's suspicions? They have a large quantity to sell. Only takes one person to start asking questions.
Or they could have taken it out of the area.
Ashford Police Station.
I'll talk to the authorities. We may need to widen the alert beyond the county. We need progress on this.
Thanks. I'll let them
There's a significant health hazard out there. We've got to find it.
Sarge, that was the hospital. The lorry driver's off the ventilator and he's regained consciousness.
Excellent. Mason, see what he can tell us.
Right, Sergeant.
Did you have a more comfortable night at home, Mr. Ventris?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Sarge.
Good.
There were two of them. I couldn't see their faces. There was one big lad, the other a bit slighter.
What were they driving?
A van. Grey.
Can you remember the make?
Maybe a Ford, I'm not sure.
Did they say anything?
Not much. One of them said, "We'll take it now," or something, and then it all kicked off.
And did he sound local?
It's hard to tell from so little, but I'd say yes. Not been much help, have a constable.
We had so little to go on. You've been very helpful. It's good to see you making a recovery. We were worried. Like, if you do remember anything else, just get the hospital to give us a call.
Will do.
Going to ring you. Edna Dean's been diagnosed with salmonella poisoning. They're trying to rehydrate her, but she's in a very bad way.
Look, it's vital that we find out what she ate and where she got it from before we end up with an outbreak in our hands.
I'm afraid she's not up to answering questions just yet, but she did have a visitor this morning. A young man claiming to be her son.
Dinner for 3 tonight, Gina.
Hang on. You haven't paid me for the steak last night, yes?
Well, I haven't got my money yet.
What? You delivered a meal to someone and they didn't pay you?
It'll be at the weekend when they check up. I mean, when they give me a cheque.
I'm not sure I like the sound of this.
No, neither do I.
Oh, well, if my brilliant little business idea is too much trouble for you, I can go elsewhere.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's call it off and you can pay me for the steak later.
No, now, Gina, don't let's be hasty.
Made me mind up, Peg. Life's complicated enough already. What are you making, Dawn?
Oh, it's a surprise. You'll see when I'm finished.
Mrs. Dean has a regular visitor who she claims is her son.
Yeah, but he isn't, because our son is dead.
So we've got a confused old woman, and this man is possibly preying on her, and we have no idea who this man is.
We don't. But he obviously cares about her because he called the nurse when she fell ill. And he's been to the hospital this morning to visit her.
And he wants to avoid coming to our attention, obviously, because he has something to hide. So where does the food poisoning fit in?
Edna fell ill sometime yesterday afternoon. She acquired the infection 12 to 24 hours earlier, so if it was from the meat, then it must have been very soon after it was stolen.
See if Mrs. Dean is in any state to give us any answers yet, and get scenes of crime round her house. We have to find this man.
Yes, Sergeant.
David? David!
Hello? Yeah, that's right.
David, do you know that wine you gave Al Fentress? Well, it's going to cost us £10 a bottle to replace it.
£10? You said the ones with the short names were the cheapest.
Yeah, well, don't give him any more. And check with me first. What was that? Is that another booking?
Oh, no, this is some bloke wants to know if we're interested in cut-price meat supplies.
You bet we are, with Gina not cooperating. Hello.
Mrs. Dean, I need to ask you some questions. Can you hear me? Someone's been coming to see you in the evenings. You told Carol here. What's his name? Mrs. Dean, who is he?
My son.
Your son's dead. He died a long time ago.
I know that.
So who's been visiting you? Mrs. Dean, it's important that you tell us about him.
He's not a bad lad.
But who is he?
And how come it's so cheap?
Well, we buy direct from the abattoir. Means we can cut out the middlemen. Plus, there's no expensive shops to pay for.
And it's all good quality stuff.
The best prime cuts.
All right. I'll have a dozen of them chops and 2 pounds of stewing steak. Hang on. Make that £3. Come on, David.
Stevie, bring the scales round, lad. £3.
What do you think about this case, PC Younger?
Me? Well, I can see how it might have developed, I suppose.
How what might have developed?
A friendship between a young man and an older woman. Might have been good for them both.
You think so, do you?
Under certain circumstances. Possibly.
Good. Good. I like to keep a tidy panda car.
I was furious to start with. I thought, how could somebody do this to an old lady?
I don't know.
To go into a house like that and pretend, taking advantage of her. But thinking about it, she seemed different lately.
How do you mean?
More cheerful somehow, like, I don't know. So she had more to look forward to. She's not going to pull through this, is she?
It's too early to say.
Oh, PC Mason, any information from Mrs. Dean?
Beyond an acknowledgement that she's had a regular visitor, no. She's just too weak to question at the moment. Maybe in a day or two if she pulls through.
No, we haven't got time. If that avenue of inquiry is closed, we need to find another.
Well, it's not entirely closed.
How do you mean?
Well, this man visited Edna this morning. He may come back.
Good point. Younger, take me over to the hospital. We'll warn them not to release any information to anyone and make arrangements in case he does return.
Right, Sergeant. Ashford Police Station. Hold on. Joe, scenes of crime for you.
PC Mason? Ah, that's great. Thanks. A set of fingerprints they found at Edna Dean's house definitely matches up with some prints that they lifted at one of the unlocked door cases.
So our mystery man is not only involved with stolen meat, turns out to be a burglar as well.
Which could explain how he met Edna in the first place.
They're all getting very impatient for their dinner in there.
Well, this isn't quite ready yet. Have you given them the starters?
No, I don't know what they want.
I can't do everything myself, David, can I? Ask them. Egg mayonnaise or fruit juice, remember?
Right.
There you go.
I wonder if Edna believed this man was really her son.
It's hard to say. She could well be deluded.
But then she admitted that she knew that her son was dead.
There are probably times when she's not quite sure herself.
One of the advantages of senility, you can keep people guessing.
Oh, if she's lonely, she might just be glad of the company.
And what delights has the chef prepared for us tonight, David?
It is beef borg top pot. Sorry it's taken so long, it's just that Aunt Peggy's fallen out with Gina, so she's had to cook it herself. And with that red wine that you drank last night being so expensive, we've had to buy the meat when it was cheap, and that was only this afternoon.
Where'd you get your meat from, David?
Oh, we bought off 2 blokes out the back of a van.
You don't get it from a butcher, then?
Oh, no. No, you see. They can sell it extra cheap because they don't have to pay for the shop.
Don't eat that, David. I need to make a phone call.
Senile or not, I don't see why she'd take a complete stranger for her son. He wouldn't look anything like him for a start.
Maybe he does.
Really?
Maybe that's what triggered the confusion. It would explain a lot.
So the photograph on Edna's mantelpiece might be a dead ringer for the man that we were looking for.
It might look a bit like him, yeah.
Aidensfield Police. Yes, Alf. You found what?
I'm telling you, we bought that meat in good faith. We had no idea there was anything untoward going on.
I find that hard to believe. How did you get in touch with these people?
I didn't. They phoned me up, isn't that right, David?
Yeah, I mean, I answered the phone.
So two complete strangers rang you up and you didn't think that this was strange?
I suppose they must have got the number out of the Gazette, from the advert.
Weren't you puzzled that they were able to supply meat so cheaply?
Well, I thought they gave a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Gina, is there any chance of some supper?
I should think so.
Well, my fellow guests and I, we've been badly let down.
Oh, who by?
Peggy Armstrong. She's been arrested for handling stolen goods.
And about time, too. What sort of stolen goods?
Mainly our supper, 3 pounds of stewing steak and some lamb chops.
Crafty old devil. So you're a Meals on Wheels customers?
I don't know anything about Meals on Wheels. We're stopping at the boarding house that she's been looking after.
What boarding house? She told me she was delivering hot meals to people. I cooked a steak for her last night.
Aye, I ate it, and very good it was, too.
Well, where is this boarding house?
Large Tree House.
Didn't know that was a boarding house.
It isn't. It's Mrs. Grant's house.
Well, since you appear not to have committed any offence, you're free to go.
Can we have a lift home?
Don't push your luck, Peggy. Otherwise, we'll take a closer look at what you're up to.
Come on, David.
Why wasn't Mrs. Armstrong warned about the meat?
Well, she's not on any of the normal accommodation lists.
So we're no closer to finding these men. The longer we wait, the more likely it is that something's going to turn up somewhere. All turns on Mrs. Dean's visitor.
I've got an idea how we might try setting a trap for him. Thanks, gents.
I've drawn all the curtains. Nobody should be able to see in.
Great.
Anything else you want me to do?
Oh, that's it. Just cross your fingers that this works.
Good luck.
Well, I did wonder, of course, but she assured me it was all above board.
Yeah, by the sound of it, extremely comfortable.
Oh, it was. But we can't go back under the circumstances.
Well, it's a bit late now to go looking for accommodation.
Oh, that's true. But we can't go relying on Peggy Armstrong. Not under the circumstances.
Well, I'll have a word with Gina. I'm sure you can all stay here for one night.
Oh, thank you, Oscar.
And under the circumstances, Peggy Armstrong can pay for it.
Mom? Hello?
What's going on? I could ask you the same. Do you have a right to be in this house?
Yes, I'm a friend of Edna's.
Your name?
Look, I don't want any hassle. I'm just here to see her.
And I'm just here to see you.
What? I don't understand. I thought...
We hear that Edna Dean is being visited by a man claiming to be her son. I take it that's you.
I just help her out. I'm a friend, like I said.
This visitor's fingerprints just happen to match those found at a number of recent burglaries. You're coming with me to the station. It's time we got some answers.
You were a Bernardo's boy. Never had a mum. Being with her is nice.
It's the truth. We're friends. Friends. You conned her into thinking you were her dead son.
I just went along with it. It seemed to make her happy. I never took anything from her. I helped her out. Did her shopping and that.
So you would have done her shopping the day before yesterday?
I can't remember. Possibly.
Think back. What did you get for her? What did she have for her evening meal?
She had a lamb chop.
Where did you get it from?
I don't know. The butcher's. Which butcher? I can't remember.
Mr. Harrison, it's very important that you cooperate with us. The meat you fed your friend was infected with salmonella.
Edna was poisoned. Oh, no.
Do you know anything about a robbery that afternoon? Carried out on a refrigerated lorry full of meat?
No. No, of course not.
Think carefully, Mr. Harrison. That meat was infected. It was on its way to be destroyed.
The lorry was headed for the incinerator. I didn't know. I would never have given it to her if I'd known. Well, that may well be. But if Edna dies, then you'll be responsible.
Where is that meat now?
I don't know. I don't know where Terry keeps the van. But I know where he's taking it tomorrow morning.
Morning. Morning. Hello there.
Who's this?
A friend and a customer. I hear you've got some meat for sale.
Oh, aye.
Can I see it? Where's it from?
Wholesalers.
Which one?
Why do you want to know?
Just curious. Which one?
The one here in Whitby.
You don't know the name? That's odd. Well, the meat's okay, is it?
Of course it is. Who is this?
It's bloody infected. And you put my friend in hospital. Police! You're under arrest!
Take him back to the station. Good work, everybody. Nice driving, PC Younger.
What are you doing here?
Well, I brought you my bill.
What for?
Bed and breakfast for 3 people. Your guest didn't fancy coming back here last night.
No, I thought it was a bit quiet.
It better remain quiet. Because if you don't stop doing what you're doing, Mrs. Grant will hear all about it.
Mrs. Grant asked us to make the place look lived in.
Well, maybe she did, but I'm sure she didn't ask you to turn the place into a hotel. I'll be down the pub. Bring the money.
How you feeling, Mum?
Oh, much better, love.
We were worried about it.
I was worried about me.
Thing is, Mum, I've got to go away for a bit.
Oh, that's a shame. Where are you going? Back down south?
Something like that, yeah.
Is it for work?
You could say.
Will you write to me? Tell me what you're doing.
I will, Mum, I promise.
I shall miss you, you know.
I miss you too.
What happened to them?
They'll both be going to prison. Grievous bodily harm, robbery, numerous burglaries.
Well, nearly causing an epidemic of food poisoning.
We can't charge them with that, but yeah, you're right. Things could have been a lot worse.
Can't help feeling sorry for Edna, though, losing a friend.
A friend that nearly killed her.
Well, maybe you could stay here a bit longer, Alf.
Oh, no need, Oscar. The builders are just about finished.
Oh, and when's Mrs. Ventris coming back?
Tomorrow. It should all be done.
Ta-da! What do you think, Oscar?
Well, I'm not sure. What are they?
Oh, well, they're gongs. I've been making them. We should put them behind the bar and sell them to tourists.
They're very nice, Storm, but I'm not sure tourists really want to buy soft toys in a bar. Well, maybe you could go into business with Peggy. Sell them somewhere else.
Oh, talk of the devil.
Here come the squatters. So where are you going to take over next, then?
It beats me how you thought you'd get away with it.
It would have been all right if folk had left us alone.
Well, I hear the Queen doesn't use Sandringham until Christmas, so why don't you try there next?
I'm going to some place where I've never been before.
David, what have you
Get
done?
that dog out of here.
What are you doing?
See that parcel? It's full of plastic explosive. Anyone tries anything and she's dead.